Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. I'm super excited today to be with Faruk Ocak. My name is Saeed Zeinali. I'm the founder and CEO of NextStars. We are in the space of connecting entrepreneurs with resources and capital, particularly helping those who are looking to use Canada as their launchpad. Today, we're going to talk about a very important topic with Ahmed, with Faruk. Faruk is an immigration lawyer and the founder of Black Sea Immigration. We're going to talk about the revised approaches, what's new in business immigration to Canada, and also we're going to talk about our very own entrepreneurship program and how it can potentially help entrepreneurs who are kind of eyeing on Canada as their next launchpad. So welcome to the program, Faruk.
Thank you so much, Said, for having me today. I'm so excited to talk about this because, as you know, we had a very busy year last year, and we've also had a solid start to 2025. Yeah, we'll be talking about various business immigration programs, how the IRCC's Immigration Canada's recent policy changes affect these programs, what should entrepreneurs do, uh, etc. I haven't prepared my speech. If I go off topic, please interrupt me, but I'm ready.
Oh, thank you so much. It's rather a friendly conversation. So, Farooq, let's start with what's new. What's the last update as far as business immigration goes? Let's say I come to you and knock on your door and say, Farooq, I'm a wealthy, like high net worth individuals from Turkey, from Vietnam, and I kind of want to come to Canada with my family. I have like a relatively good IELTS. I'm not nine, and I have some business experience. What options do I have?
Okay, so first of all, a lot of things have happened. A lot of restrictions have been introduced, but we can't say business immigration programs have been restricted that much. We've been hearing that, there have been a lot of the policy changes introduced for international students. There are a lot of discussions going on about the PR pathways, etc. But one of the main changes that they introduced with the immigration levels announcement is the cap they brought for almost all programs. This includes the international mobility programs, and most of the federal business immigration programs are included under this category. There have been a lot of restrictions on startup visa program as well. Um, but today, I want to really talk about, give you an overview and our audience and entrepreneurs that will be watching us. How does it work? The business immigration, what we do. So I also want to talk about the type of entrepreneurs that I work with, I've been working with. Um, and then I'll dive into the federal programs and the PMPs for entrepreneurs, etc., and the PR pathways. Is it clear? Is it restricted? Is it still open? Is it still possible?
Mhm.
So the I would say I'll give you two types of entrepreneurs that we work with. Let's say you are an Indian nationalist or like Turkish, Nigerian, German, etc. You've been operating your business back home for a long time, whether it's a family business or your enterprise, and you feel the need to tap into the Canadian market, not just Canadian market. As you know, Canada is a great gateway to the North American market too, as it has friendlier immigration policies compared to US. It's a bit less friendlier lately, but it's still friendlier. Um, or you've done some marketing research. You see the demand. There is a demand on your product, on your services from North America, and you want to benefit from that demand. Um, this is one type of entrepreneurs that we've been working with. The other type is that you're a professional. Okay, you're a financial manager, you are an engineer, you've been professional for 20, 30 years. Most of these clients are from Gulf countries, UAE mainly. You have great qualifications, you've been working at multinational corporations, and you do have a capital, and you want to utilize that capital to make an investment so you can build your business in Canada, in North America, bring your family here. Most of those people do not see a future in UAE, as they can't get permanent residency. So both entrepreneur types, the Canada offers a lot of programs for both of these categories. Okay. And there are some provincial programs for entrepreneurs and federal programs. In 2025, mainly I'll be talking about some I call them entrepreneur work permit programs, like C10, C11, ICTs, and there is a specific visa program called startup visa program, and then I'll dive into the provincial PMP programs for entrepreneurs. So what we do is, it depends. These entrepreneurs, both type of entrepreneurs, can benefit from all of these actually. But there are some that we want to hear from these people. We ask questions to understand their business goals. Are they mainly do they intend to immigrate here permanently, and that's their number one priority, or they really want to do business, they want to grow a business here, and then if it works out for them, and then they want to bring their families. If for the second type, that the professionals that have capitals and want to benefit, want to utilize this capital to build a future in Canada, C10, C11, these are perfect programs. And by the way, Canada's approach to business immigration is a bit different than US's approach, right? In the US, it's a bit more strict. There is an investment, required investment amount that you invest, and things are a bit more clear. But in Canada, although it's important how much you invest, it's not the only determinative factor. The investment you'll be making here, the business you'll be opening here, should bring some significant benefits, should contribute to the society, Canada's economy, local economy, etc. So for C10, C11, either you can expand your business, or you can establish your own business, or you can purchase an existing business or a franchise, and then obtain these work permits. Obviously, after following the caps introduced by the Immigration Canada, it has become much more difficult to obtain these permits. That's why you really need a solid, realistic, viable business models to take advantage of these programs. But the significant benefit part, for example, is easier to discuss, easier to prove once you're, let's say, purchasing a business or purchasing a franchise. Why? Because, as you know, say, a lot of baby boomers are going to retire, especially in the East Coast. There are a lot of businesses that are on sale. The owners want to retire. These businesses already employ employees, and these employees really depend on these businesses for their livelihood. So what you're doing as an international entrepreneur is you're purchasing this business, and you probably gonna maintain the employment contracts. These people will be able to protect their
Operate, yeah. Yeah, I actually very interesting that you mentioned. I was reading a report by Scotiabank just last week that there is a tsunami of the succession plan for these SML and medium-sized businesses. Like we've all watched the TV shows, like, but this is real life, a succession challenge. And like some of these businesses are in small communities and they are very impactful or overall well-being of the economy in their own like little town or city. So like if I want to sum it up to this point, then if I come to you and tell you, Farooq, I'm serious about Canada, I have some capital, I don't care if I have a permanent residency strategy at the very beginning. I'm happy with the work permit just to dip my toes in the water, and this gives me an opportunity also to see and feel it for myself. Then your recommendation would be to go through like C11, C10, C12 for significant benefit. And the recommendation is to purchase an already existing business that is doing okay. Maybe it's not doing great, but you can maintain the employments, and then also maybe you can introduce some technology, streamlining, and improve margins on that business. So this is probably the best channel. The downside that as I understand is that they might need to wait a while to get and apply for a permanent residency.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. This wait, the reason for this wait, there wasn't any wait actually. So how it used to work is you're coming here, you're purchasing this business, you're purchasing this franchise. And, there's no doubt that, small businesses are at the core of Canadian economy. So that's why it has always been relatively easier to discuss the benefits that your investment will bring. But in the past, and it's actually still the fact, once you get these work permits, this entrepreneur work permits, you get your business, you operate your business, and after a year, uh, you're eligible to claim arrange employment points through express entry. And as an executive in that business, operational business, you're making profits. Maybe some of our clients, they came here, they purchased a franchise. Now, after a year, actually maybe 6 months or after 2 years, they're adding another branch, another franchise location, or another existing business. Let's say that town is growing. You saw a demand and you're ready to invest more. So as an executive of your business or your company, you're able to get a job offer and claim 200 extra points, and it would add a very competitive CRS score to your profile, and you used to get a PR that way relatively quicker. Actually, we've done a lot of PPR applications last year, beginning of or middle of last year. But lately, very recently, IRCC, Immigration Canada, announced that they will be removing the extra points awarded for job offers within the express entry system temporarily. So it's not going to be a permanent policy that will stay there for years. They specifically said this is going to be a temporary policy. We don't know how long it's going to stay, a year, 2 years, 6 months. The rationale behind this policy change is to maintain the integrity of immigration system, to also protect the immigrants' integrity. But we are still not clear of this policy, whether they're just going to remove the extra points awarded to LMIA holders that are claiming extra 50 points, or this is going to also include LMIA exempt work permit holders, and most federal business entrepreneur work permits are LMIA exempt, meaning that you don't need to obtain an LMIA.
For our audience, LMIA is, if in case you don't know, it's Labor Market Impact Assessment. Basically, it's a process that an employer has to undergo if they want to hire a foreign worker. The goal of this exercise is to assess the impact of this new workforce to that particular industry, to that particular region. And then the employer has to show that there is a challenge in filling that position with the local talent. But there are programs such as, like as Farooq mentioned, C11, C2, and C12, that they are LMIA exempt, i.e., there's no need to go through the process in order to apply for work permit and or a PR. Sorry, continue. I just wanted to give
No
that
problem.
little caveat to the
Good.
audience.
Thank you. So, in summary, we don't know if this is going to affect the applicants that hold LMA exam work permits and claim extra 200 points. In my opinion, it probably will. But this doesn't mean that the entrepreneur work permits are useless right now. Again, this is going to be a temporary policy. Most entrepreneur work permits that we've been discussing, C10, C11, ICTs, intra-company transfer program, these work permits are, in most cases, are extendable, meaning that you get initially 2 or 3 years of work permit. You start building your business, or you start operating the business you purchased or franchise, and after before the expire of your work permit, if there's a still need for your physical presence in Canada, the business needs you because you're the owner and you know the technicality of that operations. You would be able to extend that work permit. So, for example, ICT is usually extendable up to 5 or 7 years, depending on the class that you're applying for. C11 is the same. So, most entrepreneurs can come, invest in Canada, obtain these permits, entrepreneur work permits, start working, gaining their Canadian experience, and then what we usually do is we coach them, right? The immigration professionals like myself, we will have to undertake a bit different role. Normally, the entrepreneurs used to come here, they used to look at their business, but now they're a bit more concerned, right? Because of this policy change that will take effect beginning March this year. They're a bit concerned. So what we do is we guide them through the process. We are always here to answer their questions. But what I always say to my clients are focus on the business. As long as your investments contribute to the society economically, socially, culturally, as long as the business is doing well, there will always probably be programs for you to transition to permanent residency.
Absolutely, and I totally agree. In essence, I think like an officer, when they're me not being a immigration professional, obviously, like take whatever I say with a grain of salt. But my perspective is, if I'm the officer, put myself in the shoes of a processing officer. I look at the business and I feel like if I refuse this candidate, there's going to be a negative impact on Canadian economy. Then that would be an uphill battle,
For sure.
for me as well. So talk about a little bit about the permanent residency options, like for these international entrepreneurs, please. I understand that there are some provincial business programs, and there is one federal business immigration strategy, startup visa, which NextStars is very active in. And what is the difference? How do you decide if someone's a better fit for a provincial strategy or the federal startup visa?
Yeah, so honestly, startup visa program it has been there for a long time, and as you know, recently it got also affected a lot by the restrictions. There's a significant cap introduced for designated institutions like angel investors, business incubators, etc. Now they can only work with 10 entrepreneurs a year. This has made the program much more difficult, but it's still there. Basically, if you have a group of investors, you have an innovative business, this is almost a direct pathway to PR, right? You build your business here with your partners. You apply for the program. Once you get the acknowledgement of receipt for your PR application, you're able to get a work permit. This work permit is also very similar to the ones that we've been
Yes.
discussing entrepreneur work permits. You're able to stay here, operate that business with your partners. If everything goes through, you get the PR. It's not an easy application. It's a pretty difficult application. You need to work side by side with the incubators or designated institutions like yours. You need a guidance probably because you're new in the Canadian market. These institutions do provide guidance to entrepreneurs who need it. But lately, I checked last week. I think the processing time has increased pretty significantly. I think it was about
39 months.
39.
Yes, 39 months now. Yes.
The alternative programs that provide direct pathway to permanent residency are PMPs. There are various PMPs that are designed for entrepreneurs, either international entrepreneurs or international graduates, the international students who came here, studied here, they completed their studies, and they want to be entrepreneur now. Through the ways that we've been discussing, purchasing a business, franchise, building their own business, building their own startup. There are pathways for those individuals as well. But today I will mainly discuss about the two programs that I think that stood up. One of them is New Brunswick's entrepreneur PMP program. The other one is BC's, British Columbia's entrepreneur programs. They are very similar in its sense. So the BC one requires you to invest 200,000 Canadian dollars into a business or building your business. That money should be put in risk that you're investing. In addition to that, for example, BC requires you to have $600,000 Canadian dollars net worth. This is not liquid net worth. It could be your properties, your assets back home. It doesn't have to be in Canada. The main eligibility requirements are like this. There are obviously language requirements, age requirements, but for example, language requirements are significantly lower than most programs. How it works is you submit your business plan, you submit your expression of interest. Once you're drawn by the respective province, you apply for work permit. Again, you get a similar work permit, like entrepreneur work permit. You start operating your business. The province, the respective departments of the province, obviously examines the operations of your business, and once you manage it for 6 months, you'll be nominated and you'll be ready to apply for permanent residency. New Brunswick, very similar, but the numbers are a bit lower. For example, the investment amount for the New Brunswick Entrepreneur PMP program is 150K. And the net worth requirement is 500K. These programs will be there. They have not been closed, but obviously, once again, the caps introduced with the immigration levels, these PMP programs are also affected. They will be accepting much less individuals, much less entrepreneurs. So it's really crucial to build a solid business model, to demonstrate your business goals clearly and work with the institutions that the province wants you to work, because even to prove your net worth, the province wants you to work with a specific institutions, etc. But overall, Saeed, I think what I tell my clients are, so in the past, we had some clients that mainly wanted to immigrate to Canada, get the PR, but they also wanted to get a business or build your business, but that was second priority. Right now, if an entrepreneur's main priority is to build their future here, get a PR, it doesn't look good. You have to be a genuine entrepreneur that wishes to do business. If that's your first priority, the programs are here. There are a lot of programs that you can benefit from. The PR pathways will be a bit more clear after you come here, be here, manage your business for a year or two, and then we'll discuss. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing was guaranteed back then either, but right now it's a bit more cloudy, but there are still options on the table.
Yeah, and we'll get into some of these changes that we have undergone. But I think, if I want to sum it up also like on this part, so if I come to you and tell you like, Farooq, give me PR, I want PR, not ready to do much without the guarantee that I'm gonna be able to establish a life here. Then there are these provincial business streams. You namely put forward BC and New Brunswick. You purchase a business or invest into a business, and then you operate it for 3-4 years, and then it gets audited a few times, perhaps, and then once everything looks good, then you're gonna get a nomination that would make you a permanent residency through that stream. Startup visa, on the other hand, is a federal strategy. Both streams, like provincial and federal startup, they start with the business proposition. Of course, if you're a startup visa candidate, you have to propose a high impact startup. But if it's a provincial strategy, it's a small business. There's many differences between the two concepts. Like, one prioritizes growth, it has to have a big impact. One prioritizes profit over growth, and it has to be viable from day one. Anyways, but long story short, you're building a business in Canada. I think the most important point that you mentioned is that nowadays it's a market it's an economic market, basically, play. More demand, less spots, higher competition. So if you're an entrepreneur, you want to come to Canada, it doesn't matter if you want to come through startup visa, through provincial nomination program, through ICT, you have to be serious. You have to have the intention of creating something of impact in Canada. And correct me if I'm wrong, but startup visa is the only pathway that you do not necessarily need to be here if you want to apply for a PR. However, it doesn't mean that you can just leave the business dormant while you're waiting, because like any other startup, you have to continue making progress, and there's some stuff that you could do from back home. Of course, like, no one's expecting you to rent a big office in Canada if you're not here physically yet, but it doesn't mean that you can like just stay at whatever idea stage that you had, and you expect to a PR to be handed over to you on a silver platter, just with a one pager and a short pitch deck. So that's kind of like what I understood from like what you shared with us.
Exactly. You have to be serious, as you said, and the main goal, the programs we're discussing today are business immigration programs. Obviously, the main goal should be to do business, not the PR, not to bring your family here, not to. That's a caveat that comes with it, but you have to show your qualifications. You have to demonstrate that you have the ability to undertake this project, to manage your business, build a network, like whether it's language abilities, transferable skills that you have acquired throughout your career. So you have to be serious. And honestly, in 2025 and probably in 2026, the PR pathways will be cloudy. So you must have, in my opinion, the mental capacity to deal with this cloudy atmosphere. There will be times that the business is not going to go well, which is okay. In none of these business programs, Immigration Canada doesn't expect you to make thousands of dollars once you purchase the business or build your business. You just have to show your efforts that you're trying to do your best to grow this business, contribute to the economy. That's why I think the mental capacity is very important. You have to navigate the cloudy environment, and it seems like
that's why it's important to have, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to brace yourself with a professional team around you. work with reputable immigration professionals, and then work with people that can help you navigate the business ecosystem, people that are reliable, that can actually, be there when things get uncertain and help to kind of hold your hands through that process. I can comment on the startup visa because just I've seen so many of these applications, helping them to, Canadianize or enter the market, and kind of, seeing them from like the initial stage all the way to PR, because I've been doing this work past 7-8 years. And I realized that officers, they recognize that, look, this is a startup, there is uncertainty. A percentage of a startup's gonna fail, but you have to have the intention of making that a startup work. Well, there's a million factors that may impact the outcome, but what you can control is your passion, your intention, your seriousness for the ID, and then really giving it the full go. And if it doesn't work, no one's gonna come and like blame you. Oh, you failed as a business person. But this endeavor also would prepare you to become a good quality, a value-oriented addition to the society. You can become an entrepreneur in a company that you're going to join, using some of the skills that you learned in through the process of launching a startup in Canada, and become successful working somewhere. So this is great. So what we realized that, like, it's a little bit cloudy, but the doors. The good news is Canada is still open for business. So we want good quality people from all over the world. Like, bring in your innovative ideas, your expertise, but don't expect that, like, PR is gonna just be handed over to you on a silver platter without any traction on the business. That's kind of the sum up of our first roughly half of our conversation.
Exactly. Say before we go on, the one comment I need to make is, for example, people have been always asking me that, I'm going to invest here. What if I lose all these money? First of all, like most of these programs really don't require you to invest the money and forget it. It's gone. It's not like, again, it's not like US business immigration programs. You can slowly utilize your capital. No one expects you to spend all your money in your first year in Canada. The business, right? Investments are always risky. How you show your efforts is you work with lawyers, local lawyers. You work with business advisors, right? Like yourself. You are seeking guidance. You pay for these services. You do get marketing services. You do get um, accounting services, anything that, because most of these businesses uh, rely on your investment, right? Like you're making them money, you're making money hopefully after getting all these services, guidances. It depends on you. It's much, in my opinion, it's much easier to make money, to generate, to build a profitable company in 2025, since we have a lot of resources, entrepreneurs. I myself am entrepreneur. You are as well, much older than me, but much more
Not much
experience.
older.
Sorry, not much more experience, I would say.
I'm not offended. That's fine.
um, so there are a lot of the software programs. AI is a huge thing that you can really benefit. So like,
Of course.
think about it. As an entrepreneur, you have some marketing questions. You have some questions about the market, the industry you're operating in. In the past, to ask these questions, you would go and pay someone. Now there's an AI that is ready there for you to answer your questions. You can talk about it, your ambitions, your plans, how you can implement them, etc. And then you can be more prepared before you go and talk to a lawyer or business advisor, etc. But it's all on them. But the number one thing that is, I think, very important here is that Canada, Immigration Canada, doesn't expect you to make millions, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, 100%. I think That's like you cannot ever like guarantee a result, but you can guarantee effort, and steps in the right direction. So just very briefly want to talk about some of these, like the driving factors for the uncertainties that we are seeing right now. Of course, we had a rather substantial election result south of the border, and we are seeing some of the ripple effects of that chaos, like also kind of coming into Canada. There's a lot of stuff going on, like right now, and has been changes that have been proposed, as you rightly put. Well, of course, I think we can all agree that there has been some mistakes that have been made, and there is room for improvement. But the good news is that we are still open for business. So we always need good immigrants in this country. And Canada has always been a place for you if you want to launch a successful global business. That has not changed. So what do you think is going to be shaping and driving policy in the short term when it comes to immigration in Canada, and how do you kind of sum up the changes, and what is kind of we can expect in the next couple of years? By the way, to the audience, I know someone's like raised their hand. We will have a Q&A. Just bear with us a little bit, and we'll open up the stage so everyone can ask their questions. Thank you. Please go ahead.
So a lot of political changes have been happening since last year. I've been closely following the US elections too. As an immigration professional, we don't have the luxury to say, oh, like, I'll be staying away from politics. We can't. We have to follow the politics around the world, especially US and Canada. So Trump as administration is coming very soon. I think a few days left for the inauguration. So, and there have been a lot of discussions. Immigration was one of the hot topics of the US elections. And Trump, personally, I don't know how reliable Trump's statements are, but he personally made, and his close allies and unofficial running mate, Elon Musk, they all made a lot of statements about their views on immigration. We know that they are 100% against illegal immigration, right? The illegally crossing individuals, the US border, living there, residing there illegally, and or maybe crossing to Canada, or people crossing Canadian border to go to US. They are 100% against this. We know this, there's no doubt. But he is okay, it seems, and he made this statement at least 2 times that I listened personally. He wants to give green card to international students, and not just international students from Ivy League, the universities. He specifically said he's willing to give green card permanent residency to students who studied in not lower quality, but less known colleges, universities across the US, right? In different states. This is, I think, pretty surprising, and it's shocking to me. And I think it's probably gonna be very shocking to Canada and Immigration Canada as well. Why? Because, as you know, in most aspects, the US is more appealing to many individuals around the world than Canada. So if there is a clear pathway for PR in US, once you invest that hefty tuition fee and want to get a PR there, if he's gonna make it possible, Canada should be a bit. We might need to not just open the doors back, but we might need to provide some incentives to international students to make it more appealing. Another thing that was really controversial was HB1 visa in US, right? Even among the MAGA, I would say some people really were against HB1, and I think this discussion took place a month ago, very recent. But Elon Musk, like one of the most known players in the Trump administration, um, Vivek Ramaswamy, they were all in favor of HB1 visa. They stated, they underlined that the HB1 visa investors, entrepreneurs are the ones that have been building these profitable companies, right? And they said there will be clear, easier pathways for these entrepreneurs. This discussion kind of started with one of the founders of one of the most well-known AI companies called Perplexity. It is now a multi-billion company. It's growing so fast, and it's doing something that most.
Hello? Farooq?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. So they're literally trying to take over Google in terms of our search habits. They're able to change it. But he said he literally built a multi-billion company, but he still doesn't have a green card. He still doesn't have permanent residency after years, and his application has been processing years, and this drew a lot of attention, a lot of controversy, and they specifically said they're going to make it easier. What does this mean for Canada? This mean this means, in my opinion, Canada needs to stay competitive. Canada needs to build clear, robust systems to attract talent, attract entrepreneurs that are serious, um, and the integrity of the system should align with the goals of these entrepreneurs. I think once the Trump administration takes over and after the elections, in my opinion, probably liberals are gonna lose. It seems so. I think all the recent panic policies that liberal administration, liberal leadership has announced lately will be removed, but it doesn't mean we're gonna wide open the doors once again. It means there will be strict requirements for you to come here, build your business or build your life here, but there will be programs that serve everyone, both Canadians' interests and for the immigrants that want to build their life here, contribute.
So you're anticipating, I kind of have an echo here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So basically, looks like what we're looking to see is a little bit of stricter regulations when it comes to immigration across the border, both sides. And but there are, and I was kind of like reading about it as well, that there are some parts of Trump kind of surrogate that they're very much anti any kind of immigration, and but there are some that have a little bit more sense and they're pro legal immigration. I think, we need immigration. Like immigrants built this country. No matter what you think about it, immigrants are more likely to create businesses in Canada. It's like twice as much as a Canadian born immigrant, Canadian born citizen. And sooner or later, like, it's this kind of like always it closes, it opens. But what we can kind of expect for the next little is that Canada really needs to put its act together, because it is going to be challenging and bumpy to attract FDI, specifically through like foreign direct investment, and like attracting and luring the talent, from across the world to Canada. There's a lot of kind of worrying stats about our startup ecosystem, like the lack of investment in early stage, and there's a lot of companies that do make it here, but they relocate. They have to relocate to like the Cohere, for example, is a good example. Is an AI company, very successful, based in Canada, started in Canada, now is based in the US. Anyways, so for the next little while, we have to bear it. You know, we have to just like navigate. We have to work with good quality people, and also just focus on the goal. You know, focus on the goal, and this will help us to kind of, you know, maybe avoid noise for the near future. So what are some of the practical steps that I can take? You know, if I'm serious about coming to Canada, what should I do? What do you suggest to me to kind of undergo that would help me with my journey as I'm thinking of coming to Canada?
I think it's a very good question, and I think we can also go talk about the NextStars program here too, because
Of course.
I know we discussed it before with you. But first of all, they need to figure out what they want to do, right? The type of investments they want to do. If an entrepreneur, an individual, an applicant wishes to expand their business, the existing business they have back home, it's a profitable, well-established business, and you want to tap into the North American market, it's a bit more straightforward, right? You know what to do. You've been doing it for years, and in this scenario, you need to figure out how to get into the market. Legal, look, I always say when it comes to business immigration, legal tests, the law, the regulations are easier when you have a solid plan, when you have a genuine business plan. In my opinion, legal part is a bit like secondary. The most important one is the market research. Is the market ready for you? Do you have a demand there? You need to have clarity, right? That's why I think that the institutions like NextStars or alike, they really do help with in terms of understanding the market, Canadian business dynamics. But overall, if the plan is to expand your business, it's more straightforward. Or again, another type of entrepreneur that you have the capital, but you want to invest. You need to work with advisors. You need to work with your lawyer, etc., to validate your plans, right? Maybe it's a plan that really doesn't, the Canadian market doesn't need that much. Or you need to make some minor tweaks to the plan. You need to add technology. You need to add value adding technologies to your business model, to your operations. And let's say you figured it out, you have a plan, and it looks like viable, you got an opinion, you did your own due diligence, you're ready. And I think the program that we're going to discuss now, I'll leave it to you, the NextStars Entrepreneurship Program, really makes it easier to visit Canada, get to know the people, get to know the experts that have been here doing business or that have been helping a lot of entrepreneurs across the world to succeed, to achieve success here. It's let me leave it to you, and then I'll make my comments. But it's
Okay, thank you. Exactly, like Farooq, this program, the Canadian Entrepreneurship Program that we designed, was really a response to the demand and the need that we got from our clients. We are in the business of supporting immigration consultants, immigration lawyers, and immigration professionals with their business immigration clients, and we do we offer a full fleet of services, from market research, like putting together a business plan, helping them Canadianize their thoughts and ideas. Even sometimes like the software needs tweaks and changes in order to work in the integrations are different. You know, we even hook them up with our local networks in different provinces and locations in case they want to get accounting help or whatnot, have you. But we heard from our clients that they have a certain type of clientele that they're a little bit on the fence. You know, is Canada right for me? You know,
which is
and
reason.
yeah, and we felt, you know, what is a light touch engagement that we can offer to them that would give their client an experience. Come check it out for yourself. So we designed this program in collaboration with Sestar College, and we've had great success thus far, and really good interest from entrepreneurs all around the world. And the goal is we want to put together a room full of like basically people with business experience and high net worth individuals that are thinking of coming to Canada. We teach them the basics of Canadian running a business in Canada. You know, what makes Canadian entrepreneurship unique. And the teaching is going to be done with very high profile instructors with years of experience in Canadian entrepreneurship. One of them is our advisor, Rick Spence, who is formerly was a director of a startup Canada for years, has been integral to everything that we've done at NextStars, and also has been a very important pillar of Canadian entrepreneurship himself. You know, he's had a lot of if you look it up, you know, he was very integral to the advancements of Canadian entrepreneurship overall. And in between, we also give them tours of local accelerators. Like we set up fireside chats with successful entrepreneurs. And the goal is to, at the end of this endeavor, to be able to work with them on a proper business immigration strategy. So basically be able to tell them, look, and then of course, going back to let's say if Faruk, like some of your clients come and say, look, go back to Faruk and let's now with what you know, decide on what business immigration strategy is right for you. And we feel that this would not put a lot of pressure on the candidate, on the applicant. And like if we accept them, we will give them a proper letter of invitation from NextStars and from the college that they can give to you, and then you can apply for a business visitors visa for them, and it will help a lot in terms of the officer's, you know, decision, because the purposes is fully clear, the duration is clear, and there's like a potential for economic impact to Canada as a outcome of the visit. And we're very excited to be able to really expand this to other provinces as well. But for now, we're just focusing on Toronto. The cost is $2,500, very transparent. $500 is for administration, $2,000 is for the program. And if the candidate, for whatever reason, is not granted with a visa, we refund the $2,000 program fee because they're not able to join us for the program, unfortunately. So yeah, and I think it's a good first step, you know, even if they're thinking of, you know, even candidates that are currently like doing a startup visa, for example, I think it's a good idea for them to come participate. It shows also like it just solidifies their intent. And for those that are thinking of kind of, is this right for me? Then, you know, it's also a good idea because they can come in and kind of see it for themselves. You know, it's always seeing it is different than reading about it. So yeah.
Exactly. I really liked it. We, as you remember, we had a call about this, and I liked the idea because I know from my clients there are a lot of people that have plans, but they don't know the country, they don't know the dynamics, they don't know anyone here aside from me. That I'm usually the first point of contact. But I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer. I am not a business advisor. I can't say I understand business that perfectly, or I might not have the knowledge in respect to the industry they want to invest in. I think this is a very affordable and very easy way to have a support from the organizations like yours and get to visit to Canada, meet some people, as exactly as you said, get to know in a room with people, entrepreneurs like yourself, you know, listen some talks, go and meet some people and validate your ideas, right? I'm thinking about doing this. Saeed, can I do it? Do you think this is a viable business? Do you think it would
Yes.
generate income? Do you think? And then we can talk if your plan aligns with Canada's current business immigration landscape, etc. I think it would be very prudent for entrepreneurs that are a bit more skeptical about all of these that we've been discussing. Just come, visit, get to know the country, get to know the local dynamics, and then let's discuss if we can help. In my firm at Blexi, I also really try to provide honest, realistic immigration services when something is not doable, when it's not viable. um, I say it straightforwardly, or when something I can help, I I suggest them to talk with business advisor like yours, um, to see if it's viable. And I think it would lead to very fruitful conversations. Um, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's really take pride in being that, facilitator for newcomer innovators as they come to Canada. Thank you so much, Farouk, for this very insightful conversation. For those of you that are gonna see this, on YouTube, LinkedIn, please do click on the follow button. We're at NextStars. You can also find Black Sea on LinkedIn. Do you have a YouTube channel as well,
No,
Farouk? Okay.
not yet.
So, okay, maybe you need to start one. And yeah, do follow us if you have any questions about the program, the Canadian Entrepreneurship Program. You can reach us at info@nextstars.io. That's nextstars.io. And or just check our website and fill out the form and get in touch with us. So now I'm going to open up the floor because to anyone that has a question, you can gently, the gentleman or woman that wanted to have a question, I think they left already. But if anyone else has any question, please raise your hand and I'll allow you to talk.
Even if
Okay.
it's not, you can always reach out to us, ask your questions. We'll always be here.
Of course. So, Farouk, if you want to also share your email address to the audience, I will also leave this contact information in the details of the video as well, but just in case you want to mention.
Yeah, our website is blexiimmigration.com and our email address is info@blexiimmigration.com. Honestly, I do provide business and personal immigration services, and my firm also offers consultations that are fully refundable. Let's talk. If we decide that we cannot help you, we fully refund the fee that you paid. That also could be a good opportunity to ask your questions. It's not something that we are trying to make like generate income through consultations. It's just we want to meet you, discuss. If we can help, you're good to go.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Farouk. I appreciate it. Thank you for everyone that joined us throughout this session. I learned a lot myself, and we're looking forward to having you back, Farouk, in our next conversations. Again, great to be with everyone. Can't wait for the next talk and chat soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Cheers.
there's actually a question. Let us
Sure.
like address this before we, if you have time.
Of course, of course.
So, Mehrdad, go ahead. Can you hear us? Mehrdad, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
No, I have a question from you about $2,500, the course that you were talking about.
Okay.
If somebody is in Canada, still needs to pay $2,500 or no? Or it's something less than $2,500. For example, $500, administration fee would be waived or not?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you so much, Medad, for asking. Yes, if the candidate is in Canada, they do not have to pay for the administration fee. All they have to do is to pay the program fee, which is $2,000.
Okay, and I would like to thank Faruk for this, interesting, conversation. I enjoyed it. It was educational actually, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Medad.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. So yes, once again, thank you, everyone, and until the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.